This is the largest piece of real estate America is currently building. It is a structure so vast, it covers more land than all the McDonald's, Starbucks, and Walmarts in the country combined. But it is not a skyscraper. It is not a factory. It is not a place for living or working. It is a concrete monument to our collective failure. It is the metal box that holds the ghosts of the things we bought, the aspirations we abandoned, and the debt we can't afford to face. Right now, 1 in 10 Americans is paying a monthly fee to store items they don't need, don't use, and will likely never see again. You are paying rent to house your own consumer waste, and the people running this system know that once you put your possessions behind that roll-up door, you are financially trapped for life. This is the secret economy of self-storage. It is a multi-billion-dollar industrial complex designed not just to rent space, but to exploit a profound psychological weakness in the American mind. To understand the scale of this problem, you have to understand the American pathology of ownership. Our homes have doubled in size since the 1970s, but we still feel perpetually cramped. We are buying stuff faster than architects can design houses. This is the gap, the excess space that our consumer habits require. And in capitalism, a vacuum is always filled by the most profitable, most ruthless enterprise. Enter the self-storage REITs, the real estate investment trusts. Names like Public Storage, Extra Space, and CubeSmart. They are the true landlords of the American dream's wreckage. They are not selling a service. They are selling inertia. They are banking on the one universal truth of human behavior. Once something is out of sight, we are too lazy, too busy, or too emotionally paralyzed to move it. Imagine signing a lease for a unit. The first month is often advertised for $1. It feels like a temporary fix, a bridge between two phases of life, a divorce, a move, or a death in the family. But then, the secret mechanism of the system kicks in. 6 months later, you get a notice. Your rent is increasing by 15%. 6 months after that, another 10% hike. The corporations know you won't leave. The cost of renting a U-Haul, taking a day off work, and manually moving everything to a cheaper facility far outweighs the monthly increase in your mind. They have locked in your dependence. This financial predation is why this industry has become a gold mine. It is one of the highest margin assets in all of commercial real estate. Why? Because self-storage is ridiculously cheap to build and maintain. It's just concrete and steel, requiring minimal plumbing, no complex heavy systems, and almost no staff. While an apartment landlord has to deal with maintenance, tenants' rights, and constant turnover, a storage landlord just collects passive income on a giant unheated vault. The overhead is virtually zero. The risk is so low, and the return is so high that banks line up to lend money for these projects. They are funding a network of empty boxes because the business model is recession-proof. The industry operates on the 4 Ds: death, divorce, downsizing, and dislocation. These are the moments when people are most vulnerable, most stressed, and least capable of rational thought. When you lose a parent, you are not thinking about ROI. You are thinking about holding on to a piece of their past. The storage companies are there, ready to monetize your grief. This predatory efficiency has allowed massive publicly traded REITs to consolidate what was once a mom and pop industry. While many facilities are still small operations, the big players are setting the prices and using sophisticated data to maximize profit. They are using algorithms to predict exactly how high they can raise your rent before the inertia breaks and you finally decide to move out. They are calculating the exact point of maximum extraction. But the darkest secret of the self-storage complex is what happens when the payments finally stop. In residential real estate, there are protections for tenants. It is a long, expensive process to evict someone. In self-storage, the rules are different, and they are brutal. Miss a payment for 2 or 3 months, and they will cut your lock. They will inventory your possessions, your family photos, your child's artwork, your grandmother's jewelry. And then they will sell it all in an auction. Not to recoup the debt, but because the spectacle of the auction has become a media product in itself. the storage companies are not just renting space. They are legally seizing your property at the exact moment of your financial distress. It is a perfectly legal form of financial violence. The emotional burden of dealing with these possessions is transferred to the auction buyer, who usually strips out anything of value and dumps the rest into a nearby landfill. The entire journey of those items is a cruel circle, from the store, to the home, to the storage purgatory, and finally to the dump. You pay thousands of dollars to store trash. This monopoly on space is having devastating consequences for American cities. We are constantly told that we have a housing crisis, a shortage of affordable land for homes. Yet, we allow vast tracts of prime commercial and industrial real estate to be paved over for single-story housing for junk. City councils, recognizing the spatial toll, are finally starting to fight back. They are passing bans and moratoriums on new storage construction in vital areas. They realize that these facilities, which generate virtually no foot traffic, no local taxes, and no meaningful jobs, are killing the urban environment. They are economic dead zones. But the industry keeps building because financially, it makes too much sense. It is easier and cheaper to build a tomb for old furniture than it is to build an apartment for a human family. The metal box is the spare bedroom for the renter class. As housing prices have soared, millions of Americans, especially young people, cannot afford a home with a garage or basement. The storage unit becomes a hidden tax on the poor, ensuring they keep paying rent for years. This is the psychological anchor that drags down generational wealth. Every dollar spent on storing old belongings is a dollar not saved, not invested, and not used to break the cycle of renting. We are paying a mortgage on our past, not our future. The storage unit is not a storage unit at all. It is a physical manifestation of American consumer shame. We feel too much guilt to throw away the purchases that didn't deliver the happiness they promised. We bought the gym equipment thinking it would make us fit, the craft supplies thinking they would make us creative, and the big box store items thinking they would make us whole. When they failed, we locked them away. We are paying a recurring subscription fee to avoid confronting our own failed aspirations. The corporation understands this deeply. They are not selling square footage. They are selling the delay of a difficult decision, and that delay is immensely profitable. As the industry evolves, they are now introducing valet storage, where they pick up your items, store them in a warehouse, and you only interact with your inventory via an app. This is the final stage of the trap, pure abstraction. You are paying for things you never see, never touch, and only own as a digitized catalog on your phone. It is a financial burden detached from physical reality. How self-storage secretly consumed America is not a story about land use or supply chains. It is a tragedy about a nation that has lost its mind to materialism. It is about an economy that finds its highest profits not in creating something new, but in exploiting the painful gap between what we buy and what we truly need. The metal boxes will continue to multiply, silent and endless, as long as we choose inertia over action. As long as we are afraid to open that door, look inside, and realize that we have been paying a fortune to store nothing but guilt. The real secret is that the storage facility is not consuming America. America is consuming itself, and a small group of REITs is just there to charge rent on the process. To break the spell, you don't need a cheaper unit. You need a dumpster.